I've got a record of this. I'll edit this video down to the core points, but just so we've got sort of the character building bits. So we've got Stephen who's playing the Scion. The Scion, you're the child, not the acolyte, not the creation, just the frigging kid of a true villain. Anyone who knows you looks at you, they can see that is your parent. So introduce us then, Stephen, to your Scion.
Yeah, I'm playing Harmony. She is the daughter of Unity, who is a galactic tyrant on the rise. He has endless minions, unrivaled genius, and cosmic might. We're some of the last of our species, and we tap into the underlying strings chords, if you will, of the universe. And yeah, I kind of am leaning heavily, but I think that my character, besides just having the access to these cosmic energies, is also, she's just a really good singer. Like, I kind of imagine a little bit that she's a little bit, in terms of her look, kind of avant-garde pop star runway fashion a lot of the time.
I'm seeing very Fifth Element in my mind's eye. If you've seen Fifth Element, if not, you should, because that feels like a beautiful aesthetic.
Yeah, that's definitely kind of it. I guess I'm trying to achieve, we kind of have similar names, Harmony and Unity, and I guess I'm kind of trying to achieve what my father wants to do, which is I don't really think that that we're gonna achieve peace anytime soon through endless war like my father believes. Maybe we can just do it with some singing. That might work.
So what race, you said there's only a few of your race left? Is that correct?
Oh yeah, I haven't given them a name yet. I can think on that.
But I just sort of said, so there's only a few of you left, yeah?
Yeah. I think that's partly why my father has increasingly turned to unifying the galaxy.
What happened to your people?
I think that perhaps we are caught in the middle of one of the of the ongoing war. That perhaps my father's rise as a space tyrant kind of was what maybe brought an end to the war. Not so much the fact that people found peace, but more that there just was suddenly this new superpower on the block, and everybody had to kind of stop fighting for a little bit while they actually worked out what that meant geopolitically now.
Mm-hmm.
Or galaxy politically now, I guess. Galacto politically.
Maybe he used me once and everyone got scared.
Yeah, I think maybe
and then I escaped.
Yeah, maybe you escaped, and then he couldn't quite make something as good as you, but he does have an army of kind of second bests.
Endless army.
I was actually kind of thinking, in answer to one of my questions, was it maybe, did I maybe help you escape from my father and we ran off together?
Maybe I helped you escape your father.
Yeah, maybe we both think we helped the other escape.
Yeah, we helped each other.
So
teamwork makes the dream work.
How have you long as Harmony known about their parents' true nature, and how do they feel about it?
I think I'm kind of sad about it. I think that I wasn't quite aware of my father's secret plan to become his plan to rise as a tyrant and unify the galaxy through basically creating through basically turning an entire like alien species into soldiers. Like I wasn't really aware of that before I accidentally kind of stumbled on his Domatron project.
Domatron project.
It's Doomatron.
Oh,
but
Doomatron. Okay.
Misspelled on purpose.
Okay.
And why did you? Why? Okay, the backstory question over here. Why did you turn away from your lineage to become a hero?
I mean, like I was saying, I think that I also want peace in the galaxy. I just think that like endless war is a really bad path to that.
You're such a disappointment.
Well,
I mean, also you're
he's
a team, so
obviously
it's just like,
he's obviously a discordant note in the cosmic harmony, and he has disappointed his father.
She.
Sorry.
you wouldn't be much of a disruptive teen if you didn't just do it like, God, Dad, you don't know the way to cosmic peace. Jeez.
Excellent. Who outside the team helped you on your chosen path? Is the other one of the other background questions. Who's helped you on this road to becoming the hero the galaxy needs?
Well, I actually was thinking on it, and after what Andrea said, that I think that my father's greatest victim, I think that he was the one that killed the Raptor's sidekick, like during the initial battle against him, maybe.
Cool.
Like, how long ago do you think that was?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe if you think it was very long ago, maybe it wasn't, but maybe it was just like 5 years ago.
Okay.
Remember,
That
this
could
is
work.
alien.
That could
Maybe
work, yeah.
we exist for like thousands of years, so it could be like 100 years ago. But for you, it will be like yesterday.
Yeah, it was at least 6 issues ago, so no one,
Everyone's forgot already.
But I think that among them, I've like, I feel like just because he's he's like the intergalactic equivalent of the Batman, that he probably has an absurd amount of files that none of the other superheroes in the galaxy know he's been keeping on them this entire time.
Awesome. And why do you care about the team?
I think that my dad's at this point has indirectly hurt people important to at least or has hurt to at least 2 of the members on the team. I think I have the need to make it up to some of them. And just to check in, does this all work with you, Andrea? Like as like a kind of, because I was just trying to knit some of my because I have so much backstory stuff I need to introduce as like the Scion that I'm just trying to knit it into.
I obviously was wanting to keep a lot of the Raptor stuff big so it could be played with. The only thing is the sidekick definitely has to be middle to distant past, because the idea is he's retired now. Like, he's not a real active superhero anymore in the wake of that. So like maybe in the wake of all the wars ending, he's been retired for maybe just a few years if the sidekick died like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, that could work. And I don't mind anything else.
Okay.
Excellent. So, Chibi, do you want to introduce us to Rana the Shadow?
This is Rana, and Rana is dramatically called themselves the Shadow. That name's not working. It'll probably have to be changed, but you know what kids are like. Rana is one of the Bufo people. They're frog people. They live on this wonderful swamp planet. All society lives in these giant constructed domes, which are really, really civilized. But Rana's family came from out in the swamps where there were mud farmers. Characteristically, mud farming is probably like the most lucrative profession because the mud of these people is used for like space age ceramics, which are super tough and used for like robots and spaceships and all sorts of industry. Sadly, Rana lost their family when they were very young, probably about 4. Just it's a dangerous lifestyle outside of the domes. There was raiders and hostile takeovers and all sorts. And then Rana moved to the domes to live with family. Unfortunately, society in the domes is like very communal. So there's no real family. So Rana was just kind of like lost amongst the kids. And very quickly took up with the slightly wrong crowd. And they had nothing. So they just stole everything they wanted, which was mostly hollow cubes. So they could like see the adventures of the Raptor and all the other, and the Rocket Rangers and all the other amazing real superheroes and a bunch of fictional ones as well. And like Rana's just like grown up just being infatuated with heroes because I think there's a huge void in their life where there should be parents and people that care for them and people that they should aspire to be. And they also really sort of needed some escapism from the fact that they probably have no real prospects in life. And eventually, as they got a little bit older, Rana became quite an accomplished thief with their best friend Gert. And they realized there was this reclusive business executive who just seemed to keep on like spending enormous amounts of money on like hero memorabilia. And so they decided they were going to raid the guy's vault and steal some really cool artifacts. But it ends up, it was actually the Raptor's home. And they broke into the Raptor cave, or whatever the equivalent is, where Rana stole one of the costumes from the Raptor's sidekick, Shrike. And had their first taste of like dressing up and being a superhero. The Raptor didn't really take that very well and chased them down and very firmly like put the shenanigans to an end. But I think there was some external influences on the Raptor because I think things are due to start changing seriously. And the Raptor's been almost sort of pushed towards being a mentor, but not being a mentor because he doesn't want to mentor because he lost his last sidekick and kids playing at heroes is a stupid game. So he's mostly just a really harsh critic and judge who is trying to nudge Rana in the right direction without giving them enough rope to hang themselves. And the rules are Rana's allowed to wear the costume, but if Rana ever tries to use his sidekick's name again, you break their jaw.
Seems like a charmer.
It's Batman issues.
Yeah. I think we've answered a lot of that. Yeah. So we'll go to you, but why do you care about the team then?
I don't know of the team yet, but Rana's never really had a close, strong family. Like even Rana's best friend Gert, there's probably been some distance created over this whole like superhero shenanigans. Because effectively Rana's getting to escape and vicariously live this dream while their bestie is kind of not, is probably stuck at home and still stealing stuff. So I think in the absence of friendship and camaraderie, the team become the next obvious point of close contact. And I almost feel Rana is naive enough that they just assume that you're supposed to love and care for and look after your team regardless. Like it's just expected.
Awesome. Can you add, is it Gur and, well, both Gershreich and the Raptor, can you add them into the NPCs? If you are introducing NPCs, can you make sure they're captured there for me, folks, just so we've got a good reference of them. Third is Pearl, who's playing Danger Beam. Introduce us to Danger Beam, Pearl.
Okay. The Danger Beam is a newborn, and doesn't have a ton of backstory because she was discovered by the team in an egg in the rubble somewhere post-war. And they took the egg, and like once it was in a hospitable environment, it very quickly hatched, and just a miniature version of what is now my main form came out. Like I was sort of fully, not adult, we'll say teen, but like fully functional, just smaller. And that is how I sort of joined up. And I have sort of instincts, like they're called lessons in the playbook, but things that I like have in my mind that I have to embody. One of which is that a superhero should put others before themselves, and the other references something else, which is never reveal the voice in your head the humans will not understand. So in my backstory, one of the questions, or in somewhere or other, because I remember I wrote this down. I don't know who created me or why. It's a mystery. And as far as I know, I'm the only member of my species, although that might not be true. But there is a voice in my head that acts as a mentor. I assume that that is a good person or being. Whether it's actually a good person or being has yet to be seen, I imagine. But that is what I listen to right now, the closest thing I have to some sort of mentor.
Mm-hmm.
I am different from humans in basically every way. I'm not carbon-based. My like main elemental form is pure energy in the form of light, and one of my abilities is solid light projection. So light is kind of my big thing. And let's see what else.
Who outside of the team is your caretaker? So who looks after you?
So I think it's just the voice in my head largely.
Mm-hmm.
Like there is no physical being, but the voice in my head kind of tries to guide me, and I might ask it questions occasionally.
So let me just get this right. You've played games with me before, and you've just chosen to have a voice in your head that I control.
That's exactly why I did it. It's been too long since you've done something horrifying to me, so I figured.
Okay,
it'll be
so
like
the
old
voice
times.
is your caretaker, and cool, excellent. Not so much as about humanity, but what about, I suppose, organic life fascinates you the most?
I actually wrote about humans, even though we're not all humans. And I put that they fascinate me because there are so many of them. And on the whole, they're very similar to one another. But they're also still really unique in a lot of ways, which is very interesting to me. Like, they don't have specific lessons, and they don't have all these things, and yet they have their own personalities and values and all these things, which is fascinating. And also they leak when they are sad, which I assume is a design flaw.
And
Their eyes leak.
why do you care about the team?
Because they saved me from the rubble. They could have just left the egg, you know, in the broken down building or whatever the rubble was. But they spotted it and thought it was worth taking the time to dig it out and take it with them. And that is how I came into existence.
So I'm going to ask Rana, what about them made them take that egg? Seems like a Rana thing to do. Why did you take that egg?
What was the egg again?
The egg was what Danger Beam hatched out of.
Who had the egg originally?
It was found in I suppose a ruins of a hidden super science compound.
Well, I would only take the egg if I had the weird belief that it was somehow a super cool superhero egg thing, because that is absolutely the MO.
It was gold and shiny.
It was gold and shiny, clearly, and I bet there is an awesome superhero origin story from years back that totally shows this cool cosmic superpowered person hatching from a similar golden egg, and that's why I had to take it and protect it, because you never know, a cool hero might hatch out of it.
And one did.
I know, just like it was said in the comics.
That's basically Adam Warlock, right? So it's fine. And last but no means least in the introductions, Erez, tell us about, is it Doomatron?
It's Doomatron, but it's misspelled on purpose because it doesn't want people to think of Doom when they think of him. But it is the name that he chose. But that was chosen.
You're playing a bull.
I'm playing the bull, yeah.
Tell us about
it. Comes. So his real name is Savanor. Savanor. He comes from this species of rogue people.
Excuse me.
So let's see questions. So who created him is Harmony's dad, Unity. Harmony's dad apparently needed a very strong weapon, so he took one of these rogue people, Savanor in particular, and changed him in very particular ways. He was already a rock person that lived for very long, and they don't need to eat, they don't need to breathe. He made him stronger, he made him faster. He made him a lot more powerful. And he somehow got into his brain a bunch of abilities of fighting. He could crack planets eventually, maybe. That's what everyone is scared of.
Did they just take you from your people, or were many of your people transformed and experimented on?
So it sounds like Unity wants an army, so he probably did it more than once. Maybe he did it after as well, more successfully. Who knows? But like my species is not many. Like they live on a single planet. They don't go colonize. They're just rocks that grow on the planet they come from. They're neutral most of the time in space stuff. Like they just live there for thousands of years and they just don't care about whatever goes around them. Maybe some of them now do.
Okay, so who outside you? So how did you escape from Unity?
Can you ask again?
How did you escape from them? Is the next question. So how did you escape from Unity?
So they made me very powerful. They tried to use me for the first time on some sort of planet, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
It scared everyone into peace, as we said. And when I saw that I just scared everyone, I decided that I don't want to stay here. Like, this is not good for me. And that's when Harmony came to help. Like, I was talking to Unity and I saw her and she took me aside and started speaking to me as well. And one thing led to another, and you see us basically running away from there. And I used my powers, basically, if anything, tried to stand in our way.
Cool. So outside the team then, who tries to take care of you now?
Don't know. I'm taking my species as a whole. Like, they are like, the universe at large is scared for me because I'm this super weapon.
Mm-hmm.
But my species sees me. And when I go there, they still would take care of me. Help as I need.
Okay. And why do you try to be a hero?
So I was given a lot of power to do very terrible things, and everyone gets scared, as I said, and I want to prove them wrong. I want to prove that it's not what I am. I'm not a weapon. I'm a source of good.
Excellent. And why do you care about the team?
So part of this power and being a rock means like I don't usually meddle in the thoughts and ideas and whatever goes on around in the universe. But I have all this power and everyone keeps looking at me. And these people, they keep me attached to the universe at large. Like I'm not just some being beyond it. I'm with everyone. And this team keeps me there. Down to earth. Even though I said no earth.
Mm-hmm. Downstone. Right. Okay. Cool. Right. So we'll figure out when our team comes together next, and then set up the relationships, and then add a few more things into the world to conclude the second half of tonight's get together. It's just gone 25 past the hour there. Should we take like 10 minutes? Let people have a comfort break, sort themselves out, and I'll see you at 1:45, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, catch you guys soon.
Recording.
Is Eris here?
Oh, we've lost him.
Feel free to use Bobby B as an NPC in the meantime. I feel like
you've got masks on Sunday in the other group as well, Pearl. You know, that could be an absolute awesome legacy of Bull.
I have thought about it. Just
all right. So we're going to see how the team comes together. Look, I think from what we've established that with the newborn, what I want to show you before we sort of really set that scene of when our team came together. Was that when we rescued Danger Beam, or was this after that? I've heard that's the first thing I just want to ask before I start asking people questions about the.
That would imply that Danger Beam was born when we rescued her.
That's the
question. She would have to be a part of it.
Yeah. I hatched after you brought me back to a ship or something. The egg will not hatch outside of a, like, I don't know if it has sensors built in, but like, it has to be
we flew for a spatial anomaly.
Yeah.
Perceived to be non-hostile environment, I would say.
Cool. So I think let's think about this. When the team did first come together, they must have been in the middle of doing something either heroic or downright crazy.
I'm thinking maybe it was the day where me and Harmony escaped. The shadow was there as well, and that's when Danger Beam was like. Maybe there was a battle on some planet.
Yeah,
where all of it came out of. Maybe
the tail end of that adventure with the two of you probably resulted into some large escalating incident. Yeah. There was probably some like full-on adult superheroes fending off like forces of father, but obviously like the kids get involved too, right? To prove that we can step up and do stuff.
Probably like as we tried to run out, there was a fight broke out, and from outside, everyone that's fighting Unity saw there is a fight on the planet and came to butt in.
Awesome. So though Raptor has retired, he still marshals and helps heroes do their things from behind the scenes, I suppose, in an Oracle or maybe a Batman Beyond, this sort of Bruce Wayne way. So this was an attempt to try and nip Unity's rise to power in the bud, and it went dramatically wrong. So it had gone so wrong, dramatically wrong, Rana, that the Raptor sort of says, "Stay here," and for the last time, well, first time in a long time, he puts on the costume and heads down to the planet. Rana doesn't seem to be the sort of person who would stay behind. Does that feel?
Yeah, but I can't follow until he's out of eye shot, right?
Yeah, exactly so. But that means I'd like to ask the first, when our team comes together, question from you, that you found signs that this incident was just the beginning of something bigger. What were they?
Whose question is it?
That is
For everyone.
for Rana, for Chibi.
Hmm.
At this,
I would actually like to play the Cosmic Anomaly card.
Mhm.
I think there was a concurrence that happened at the same time as this, which, although it doesn't appear related, I think, yeah, there was like almost like a spatial rift, which was maybe what released the gamma rays or whatever that helped Danger Beam.
sounds to me like
Hatch.
Unity was up to some sort of terrible cosmic experiment that may have given, rise
Yeah.
to a super army.
And I think everyone just thought it was maybe like a cosmic storm because they happens, but Rana is absolutely sure that they saw something come out of the storm.
Something came out of the storm.
Yeah, maybe wasn't directly involved in the situation, but
Maybe Danger Beam isn't the only one.
Maybe not. Well, let's make a note of that. And
it's clearly there's something else in the background.
then let's ask Doomatron. As you rebelled against Unity, you defeated a dangerous enemy. Who or what was it?
It was Unity's second in command. I don't have a good name, so I'm just gonna call him Commune, because Unity, communism, blah 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 blah. Commune. He is this very, very, very powerful personal guard, basically, and I kicked his ass.
So we have a nemesis already established.
Can we just avoid the whole Red Scare thing though from this particular story?
I just didn't have a good name. If you have a better name than Commune,
Oh no,
it's
I just kind of wanted to jump in there because before we went down that path.
No, his name is Unity 2. There's one Unity and everyone else. I think that's like, because it reminds me of Rick and Morty. There's that character Unity, right? That she's like lots of people.
Yeah, my dad just named the empire after himself. He's not good with names.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Okay, so you rebelled, took them down, and then let's find the Scion. So the Scions, when the team came together, question is: someone important learned about your lineage and condemned us all. Whom and why?
I think
So we have established that the team of heroes is here. We've established that the Raptors here. So maybe it's someone from the team of heroes you might want to.
no, yeah, I was just thinking that. It's I'm just trying to think of a proper alien name. Alira Tel Ashar. I'm just typing that into NPCs now.
Thank you.
And they were they are they were the leader of the Rangers that got destroyed in this battle for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think that they I mean, I think that they like discovered that like not only like the fact. Well, yeah, they kind of discovered the. Like I'm just kind of thinking if there's anything that we really need to elaborate on in that answer.
Well, I was just thinking there, like, because if they're defeated, and sort of in one of the background subject questions, we're going to say like, what where are the Rocket Rangers finally defeated? Maybe you guys are you know, blamed for their demise
Yeah.
or death, so you're painted as outcasts, knowing that you weren't quite able to help them, and the heroes, the greatest heroes in the galaxy, died. Seems suitable call to action.
Yeah, and I'm gonna just add Alira as the galaxy's greatest hero
X.
because that's important on my character sheet.
Cool. And finally, we ask Danger Beam the question. The team discovered you during the incident. Thanks to them, you reached the outside world and helped in the fight. Where and how did they find you, and who gave you your first nickname? So let's start with the first bit, right? I suppose. Where and how did they find you? Let's answer that one.
I have a whole panel set in my head of how this goes down.
Go for
So
it.
if people are willing to give me a second. So they find this egg, right? And after they have defeated you two, among other things, they take it back to a safe place. And once it has detected that things are safe, like just beams of colored light start to shoot out of like small cracks that appear. And the ship that is monitoring it says like, danger, danger, beams of light detected, danger, unknown source. And they were like, danger beams. And so that's actually how my nickname came about. But then it opened like a clamshell a la Venus de Milo. And a being of pure light started to step out, except it was clear that I was like blinding everyone. So I was like, I gotta turn it down. But because luckily I'm very small, so you could sort of avoid looking directly at me pretty easily. But I spent a minute, like I like to imagine there was a panel of like everyone's sort of like horrified faces with different colors of light on them, maybe even just strips of their eyes, as the light goes flying everywhere. And then a panel with this egg with this glowing thing. And then finally I figure out how to tone myself down. And I'm just sort of like standing there looking confused. And I'm like, hello, I'm Orchid. Because I have weird instincts, according to my playbook. And I've decided that one of them is that I knew my name was Orchid. But I'm happy to adopt Danger Beam once it has been called. And what was the second half of it? It was
I think you've answered both parts. How did they find you, and who gave you your first nickname? I think you helped in the fight.
It was technically the computer combined with people's reactions.
So the four of you are forced to flee back, or you get off planet back to the Raptors ship, and I think the Raptor says, "We'll have to sort this out later. Get out of here. Take the ship." Gritty voice.
I get to drive.
Pretty sure she's a good driver, and I point at Harmony. I mean, she's the daughter of the greatest mind on the galaxy.
So we see this. Remnants of a battlefield, and the forces of the Rocket Rangers shattered, and unity and their forces rising from the ashes. And when you see on this other panel looking down, you see the Raptor and Elira standing there looking down and says, "Damn those kids." He says, "They've caused this. If it's the last thing I do, they'll pay." But she shouts out your team's name, or the name that she's given you. What's the name of your team?
The Outcasts. No? We totally are a bunch of outcasts.
Any other
I think
suggestions?
I don't even know what that word means, probably. So I'd be
Outcast?
happy to go with it. No, I mean my character.
Oh.
So I'm just like, sure.
That's
I
probably
got out
better
of
than
my egg.
anything Rana can suggest.
I have cast off this shell right here.
Cool. So the galaxy knows you as the outcasts, and
Yeah, out of cast, yeah.
yeah. You have the Raptors ship as your base of operations. What's it called? And I'm going to ask that question to Rana.
Right. He calls it the Space Hawk. However, I think we should call it the Turbo Blaster.
The Turbo Blaster.
I mean,
Terrible?
I'm still calling it the Space Hawk, but
Well, that's what I just sort of this realization that everyone else knows it's called the Space Hawk, and he refers it to continually as the Turbo Blaster.
Yep, Rana calls it the Turbo Blaster.
And everyone else is thought bubbles. Why doesn't he call it the? Why doesn't he call it the Space Hawk?
I probably confuse and every time use a different name.
Mm-hmm.
Depend when I when I talk shit about it, I say the original name, which was I forgot already.
So
I was gonna say I've forgotten both. What do I
what
call
was
it?
the original name?
the Space
Hawk?
Hawk,
Space Hawk.
Space Hawk, and the secondary name was
the Turbo Blaster.
the Turbo Blast.
That's
So when I
what Rana-
insult it, I call it the Turbo Blaster, and when I speak about it as like a regular spaceship, I call it the Space Hawk.
Space Hawk, like the bird.
Oh, Hawk.
Yeah. Because the Raptor is a bird-based hero.
Oh, Dave, just so you know, I added the voice to the NPCs tab.
Awesome, thank you.
I saw.
so like, is it are they a bird-based hero because your people just have a long history of being predated by giant birds since you are frogs?
Yep, it's in the description actually. The raptor is a predatory mythical bird that once hunted the buffalo when they were still walking on all fours.
Okay.
Once walked the biffle? What?
Buffalo, that's the frog people.
Ah, yes.
And it's just like it's a deep-rooted primordial psychological reaction that his silhouette makes most of the frog people terrified.
So you have the Space Hawk, but you're not entirely sure it's under your control, at least not all the time. You're pretty sure that the Raptor is watching you and gives you missions from this and controls the ship. Sometimes gives you some freedom, but then uses you to do his bidding, like a grumpy old space Batman definitely would. So let's do some relationships. I haven't started one of these cycles with Pearl yet, so I'm going to ask Danger Beam to choose one of the relationships from their playbook and ask if someone would like to take that on.
Okay, so the first one is blank is an exemplary human. They show me around and tell me how things work. My guess is that that's Rana, or it could be Harmony, but I'm thinking Rana.
Let me show you my comic collection.
That sounds perfect. Did you want me to do both at once, or do one at a time?
One at a time, please. Yeah.
Okay.
So let's do...
Rana will so excitedly to show you and tell you everything.
That's wonderful. I cannot wait for this.
Doomatron, would you like to choose one of your relationships?
Sure. I just copy pasted them. So yeah, my relationships are basically my love and rival. So I'm going to say that a danger beam or orchid is my love. You've opened up to them about the worst parts of your past.
I'm happy to accept that.
Not necessarily more like emotional love, but love. I'm a rock. Yeah.
Harmony.
Are you also an island? Sorry, I couldn't help it.
Oh. Harmony, would you like to choose one of your relationships?
Yeah. My parents want. Well, now I'll just go with this first. Blank is the only one who understands what I'm going through. I told them which part of me I wished was more like my parent. Does anybody particularly want to take that?
Just dump it
Whatever.
on someone.
Yeah, whatever you think.
Sure. Oh, go ahead.
I could maybe take part of what you're going through because I don't have a real identity of my own, just this voice in my head. And so you have struck out away from your past to create sort of a new identity. And I don't know about you, but my parents' voices are in my head saying things that I wish they wouldn't sometimes.
And I think it's actually like exactly like you just openly, like this is the only time in the comic where you just openly say that. I'm just like, oh, okay, right, metaphorically.
Right. That sounds great.
I think I kind of went on about like the kind of certainty and capacity to take action. Like I feel like ever since I broke from my father, I've mostly been on the run, trying to like get by and hold things together. Like I feel like I haven't really been able to like advance towards an actual like goal of like bringing harmony to the galaxy through music.
Awesome.
Right, you're actually supposed to answer what it says, like what's the worst part of your past. In my case, I didn't actually say that. I volunteered to Unity. That's the worst part of my past.
So Orchid knows that you volunteered to become, or at least have experimented on.
Yeah, to become.
Dun.
And then I also know which part of harmony they wish is more like unity.
Yeah.
Can you repeat what that was? Sorry.
I was kind of a bit at length. I was kind of a bit of a run on about it. Basically, I guess like Unity's certainty about their cause.
Right. Okay. Yes. Sorry. I sometimes mix up different characters when they talk about
I kind of blathered for a bit, so it's no
but it was
problem.
a good blather. So I'm glad you did it. Thank you for just distilling it again for my own brain.
The Shadow would like you to answer one of your relationships, please.
Okay, I'm just trying to figure out who in the team comes across as the most heroic.
Harmony, I would suggest, is probably the most they rejected their parent and their destiny to go out and be a good guy in the galaxy, right? That feels pretty good.
Okay. I've got to prove myself to Harmony before I feel like a real hero then.
How have you tried to prove yourself to me?
How have I tried? Well, like I've obviously tried the whole being super kind and friendly and being an all right buddy and stuff, but I actually need to hero up. I need to prove to you that I belong in this team and I'm as good as the rest of you, even though you are like a cosmic energy wielding child of a tyrant when I'm literally just a frog with a costume.
Yeah, I think Harmony views you a little bit as kind of a large baby that the raptor left us with.
Yeah, like Rana is literally kind of like your average 13-year-old sort of thing. Like, they really are, in some cases, a liability. And I think that's what's been happening so far is Rana has been so focused on trying to help you and get approval, especially when we're doing important stuff, that I often get under my feet and yours and just cause situations become annoying.
Okay.
Whether it's incorrectly following orders, whether it's losing something important, or just saying the absolute wrong thing at the wrong time.
Excellent. So let's snake back at this point. I'm going to ask Rana to do their second relationship.
Oh, who is awesome? Is it the ball of light or is it the giant rock? You're both so awesome. I think because we've already got one relationship between us, I'm going to go for Domatron. Domatron is awesome, and I take every chance I can to hang out with them. Like, it's just such a cool, big, strong, reassuring rock person.
Does
And,
Domatron like the fact that
What? The fact that what?
that I keep hanging out with you.
Oh,
Like, do you like movies?
maybe.
Like, we could watch movies. So many good movies. We could go places and get really cool food that you've maybe never tried before.
Probably.
And I actually Rana probably keeps on trying to loop Domatron into various plans of Orchid as well.
And I think he wouldn't mind it. He just wouldn't care as much about it as one might.
I know,
Like,
but the fact that Rana gets
he has a hard time with
Rana
emotions.
happy.
He just has a hard time with emotions because it's a rock.
That's cool. Rana has enough feelings for both of us.
Oh, that sounds like a decent amount of feelings.
Harmony, can we have your second relationship, please?
my parent once fought and thrashed blank? I've got to find a way to make it up to them. Do you think, like, as part of the team coming together, but like after you beat the lieutenant, like Unity just kind of came down and like
And
landed you out with like one backhand and then like left?
Oh, and then left. Oh God, yes.
Perhaps they sort of like asked tell Harmony, deal with this failed experiment, and
then left. Yeah.
and then left, giving Harmony the call to action to put the failed experiment down.
And the opportunity to escape.
Then we will go to Domatron to get your second.
Very clearly and obviously, Harmony is my rival. They tried to control me at a crucial moment. Immediately after he punched me, I stood up. I wanted to go right at him again, at his back. And Harmony just kind of held my hand and pushed me out of there. Just ran, like as she was running, she just took my hand and started running. And I was like, what are we doing? What are you making me do? You're making me run.
I think I like sang to you a lullaby and you kind of passed out.
Oh, sure. Yeah, you controlled my ability to fight him and finish this all. And that's the music.
Yeah, I'm sure you would have done very well against the guy that punched that knocked you out in one punch, Dumatron. I'm sure.
Never stand in my way again.
I mean, don't try to get yourself killed again, Dumatron or Savanor.
Cool. The behavior of whom confuses you again and again, Danger Beam?
Sorry, I had trouble finding the mute. I think it's probably Dumatron.
Seems legit.
Who, like, obviously has favorable feelings towards me, but is also a rock. So, yeah, he seems like he would be confusing in a number of ways.
And why does he give me these boxes of chocolates?
Either he or me can eat.
So yeah, I will take that if that's okay with you, Aris.
I'm going to be very confusing, I promise.
I
Okay.
remember your last character. I'm not worried.
So the final thing to resolve on the sheets at the moment is influence. So let's do those in character keep order at this moment in time. So the Scion, the key to proving you're different from your parent, but don't want to be defined by your peers. Either which teammates are you going to give influence to?
I'm giving influence to Pneumatron and Danger Beam.
You put it on influence on instead of has influence.
Yeah, it should be on the other side.
Oh, right.
Yeah, they've got influence on you.
No, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing that we have to establish for the Scion is they've got to write down the name of at least 2 other characters who respect you need it or want to differentiate yourself from your parent.
Yeah, I've been doing that. I mentioned them before. I have them under extras.
Oh yeah, cool.
My parents' greatest victim, the Raptor. The galaxy's greatest hero, Alira. And the galaxy's biggest celebrity, Estelle, the solar songstress.
Understood.
Who, as I said, is just played by Estelle, the singer, playing herself, except as a 12-foot tall, glowing woman.
What a cameo.
Influence.
You did a job now that Steven Universe is over.
So for the beacon, you're so excited to be here. Give influence over to 3 of your teammates. Well, that's easy, right?
That's everyone.
So everyone.
I just want to fit in so badly.
Yeah, everyone has influence over the shadow.
That name will change in due course, by the way.
And I do wish the playbooks were in singles. It would make life so much easier. The newborn for influence, your receptor people think behavior. So give influence to all of the teammates. So everybody has influence over Orchid.
Is Harmony's real name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wonderful. And then the bull, give your love and your rival influence, and you've done that already, yeah?
Yeah, Orchid and Harmony.
Wonderful. We have have sheets. We probably have enough of the world built. We've got our safety tools built. We know what happened to the rocket rangers. We know Unity is the rising evil. I'd like us, though, I think. So one question I'd like to sort of make sure you got a little bit of answer to. Every player, tell me one myth or legend that you or your people have heard about the oncoming storm. And let's go in reverse character keeper order for this. So I'm going to ask Dumatron first. What have you heard is the oncoming storm?
So, as I said, my people are very old. Like they technically aren't supposed to die normally. Like they live for thousands of years and they have stories. And if they have stories, those stories must be, because our civilization is millions of years old. And there are stories about like the great like something that melts rocks down, like an acid. This great acid thing, the acidifier, that will come one day into the universe, and all the rocks will be gone, all the planets, everything that's made out of solid material will be just melted down.
So it will wash away the ancient stones. Well, Danger Beam, we haven't really got a people, but what does the voice warn you about or tell you about the oncoming storm?
My thought is that because I'm not sure what the nature of the voice is, I don't want to give it too specific an answer, but that that it says that a storm is coming and that in order to be prepared, I need to live by the lessons that have been instilled in me and that more are to come, since they will come over the course of play. And that only by adhering to said lessons and any other messages and instructions given to me can I be prepared to meet the oncoming storm and defeat it.
Okay. Rana.
The Bufo people, I actually think have a very strong spiritual background, which I would sort of similarize to forms of Buddhism. They believe that all of life is a wonderful circle and the wheel keeps turning, but they talk of one day the wheel will stop. And like there's so much behind that the old souls will stop coming back, that a great entropy will cross universe. They have all these myths and legends, but the one thing is that eventually the wheel will stop.
Awesome. And finally, Harmony.
I mean, my dad went on about it a lot when we lived together, but he tends to monologue a lot, and I kind of tuned it out eventually. I'm pretty certain it involves a dragon, a space dragon, maybe.
Black dragon, right? Because it spits acid.
So I'm going to put the on dragon maybe wasn't really listening. So we can capture that moment of the teen not really paying attention.
It's like, what were you doing when your father was giving the master plan? I was making a sandwich. It was a good sandwich.
Okay, folks. So I think we have everything I need. We're about half an hour early, but we'll likely close down shortly. Unless anyone's got anything else you want to discuss, put into play, work out, or sort out with each other.
My only quick thing is I can study the bull playbook just to make sure. I know that the bull always has one love and one rival, but I've never actually played with one before, so I can't remember exactly what that entails. And I know, as you said, you wanted to
Yeah.
interpret it less sort of literally with like romantic love and more something else.
Yeah, you can also choose like friend or protector.
Yeah,
for
that's
example.
exactly what I chose.
Okay, so protector.
Like I chose
Or-
friend and defender.
Just making sure that I had a concept of what that
Like
was.
it's not that I'm in love with Danger Beam and or hate Harmony. It's just that I view Harmony with like she is the daughter of the man who made me. She can become evil, so she's a rival. And I see Danger Beam as this brand new thing, brand new life, and I've lived for so long, and now I'm a super weapon, and that looks nice to be like new. Like it's a bit of jealousy.
So mechanically, it has little effect on you, Pearl. But for what it will mean is that, as a Dumatron has a +1 ongoing to any action to impress their love or frustrate their rival, and you say defender and friend, so it gives him different options and ability to sort of take potential when they're thwarting their rival or helping their love. So it's all good. Grand. Anything else from anyone? Okay, I'm gonna stop the record at this